This movie I'm about to discuss is by far one of my most scariest and most disturbing movies of my life. I remember seeing this movie for the first time as a very young teenage boy. I couldn't sleep that night. I had nightmares for days. Couldn't sleep. Imagine yourself playing a video game, and in that video game you die, or rather your character dies, and you had to die as well, the same way, in the same circumstance as your character. You find out that the game is being possessed by an evil spirit, a demonic entity out for nefarious activities. Now, there are a lot of demons in movies. The nun, for example, whose only purpose is to cause pain and suffering. Or the demon from the Pope's Exorcist, who feeds on the sins of people, torments and tortures you, and feeds on your sin. Now, this is a very different kind of demon. It is very sinister. It kills as it pleases. That's what happens in the movie Stay Alive. Okay, so this movie is nuts, right? The movie follows a bunch of friends who happened to receive a video game from their best friend who just passed. Unbeknownst to them, the game is infested with a blood hungry demon. Now, to them, they didn't know that this was the case when they read the incantations presented to them on the screen. It's quite funny, to be honest. Now, it was all fun and games. They were having fun playing this video game until one of them died in the game, and then the next morning was found dead in his office. Now, eventually, they all caught on to what was going on, and unfortunately, a lot of them had to die very gruesome deaths. Now, towards the end of this movie, this demon or ghost started playing the game without the characters interfering or interjecting, leading some of them to their deaths. It's a very cruel joke. Now, what is the origin of this sinister evil? Well, in the movie, they discovered that she was once human, migrated from Eastern Europe, and came to America over 200 years ago, where she kidnapped little girls and stripped them of their blood. Apparently, she was obsessed with living forever. She was obsessed with her beauty and remaining young forever. So she kidnapped little girls at the dead of night in her carriot. She rode along the streets, taking girls and torturing them in her manner, draining them of their blood and bathing in it. When her heinous acts were finally discovered by the townspeople, she was killed and put down, buried and entrapped in a tomb of her own in her manor. Her manor was destroyed and buried and left to time to be forgotten about. All traces of her existence was expunged and buried, forever to be forgotten until now. I have a theory as to what kind of entity she is. I don't think she's a deadite because she has a physical form still in her tomb. but she has a spirit that possesses a video game. I believe that in order for her to remain young, she had to make a deal with an evil entity, a being that could grant her immortality for spilling young blood. I believe that for her to gain immortality and forever be young, she had to kill young girls and torture them. Because according to the movie, she tortured girls and spilled their blood. She bathed in their blood in order to remain young. Now let's talk weaknesses, right? In the movie, one of her weaknesses is roses, as it was shown in the video game as well. If you toss a rose at her, she disappears. Further into real life, into reality, if you could get access to roses, that was a big weakness to her. This is where this movie kind of falls short for me, because as an entity this strong, you shouldn't have such trivial weaknesses. Although in the movie, the roses were just a temporary thing, and getting rid of her would involve going to her tomb, nailing her, and setting her on fire. From in my point of view, I always thought that evil entities like this would have rigorous incantations or rigorous rituals in which the main characters have to go through in order to vanquish this evil. But in the movie, it's as simple as just nailing her and then setting her on fire. But it wasn't as easy as the main characters thought it was going to be, because as the main character was done nailing her, she woke up. Well, and then this would have been a good opportunity for the movie to involve her fighting with the main character, or using her powers, but she just stood right there and let my guy set her on fire, and that was how she was destroyed. It was a weak ending, in my opinion. Anyway, those are my opinions on Stay Alive.